All right. So, the big picture is this podcast I listen to every once in a while where it's just about movies. They um, talk about movies that have released, movies that have come out in the past. They do a little retrospective thing on them. And they'll interview directors. Like, I think recently they just had Josh Safdie on talking about Marty Supreme and whatnot. Um, but recently they've been doing this whole thing where they've done 25 movies for 2025, where they kind of pick one movie per year um, to kind of represent like the strength of movies that have come out in the 25 years or something. Um, Now, in my opinion, this list is fine, but there are some insane choices on here, and I'm not sure if uh, everybody else who sees this kind of thinks the same thing I do. Um, Even though I have a feeling that what I think um, is going to be like majorly different on just two things. Um, so you have this picture up here where it's like it shows all the movies kind of going from 25 to 1. And there's also a ranking, so it's not like the 25, it's just like one random movie per year or whatever. It's like this is the 25th best, 24th best, 23rd best, and it's a ranking loosely. It's not like they would go to war or die. Ooh, excuse me. It's not like they would go to war or die um, from any of these. They probably are just kind of like they feel strongly, but there's probably some give or take or whatever. Um, in my opinion, so just looking at this list right now, we have Michael Clayton, The Handmaiden, Something's Gotta Give, Fallout, Children of Men, Melancholia. These kind of represent like our 19 to 25 right here. Um, and in my opinion, just get rid of Michael Clayton, get rid of Something's Gotta Give, get rid of Melancholia. Those movies, in my opinion, there's so many more better movies that have come out um, in the years since 2000 that are should be on this list that aren't. And they only also as well they did one movie from a single director, so that's why you only have one David Fincher on here. That's why you only have one Christopher Nolan on here. That's why you only have one Studio Ghibli Miyazaki movie on here. Um, so that makes sense. I actually give them some credit. But Michael Clayton, Something's Gotta Give, Melancholia, um, could probably fit in like the 50 to 100th range. I don't know why they're up here in the big with the big dogs, with the 25 for 25. The Handmaiden, however, I do like this. The Handmaiden is great, but I do not think The Handmaiden should be over Old Boy. Like I think Old Boy is uh, basically like an early 2000s masterpiece. It's a capital M masterpiece, and The Handmaiden is also a masterpiece. But to me, it's a lowercase m masterpiece. I mean, Old Boy was like one of the biggest, craziest movies of the early 2000s that so many people know. Um, so much more people have been influenced by Old Boy. Like for some reason in every action movie now, there's got to be a hallway scene, and everybody goes, "It's like that scene from Old Boy," um, and it's like, yeah, we know, everybody knows that, but for some reason they keep on just putting that same hallway, one take scene in every action movie, as if they're the first person that they think has ever referenced Old Boy. They're not. Um, so I would the Handmaiden actually like if you just put that at number 25, but if you could also put Old Boy up here, and I'll put Old Boy a little bit higher maybe. Um, but you can only do one film from each director, right? So Park Chan Wook. Also, I think DMZ is after 2000. It's 2000 or 2002, I think. But that's also really good as well. It could maybe take its place. But The Handmaiden is a good pick. I would pick Old Boy. Something's Got to Give. Just get that out of here. So also funny enough, also the like only movie that's not on Blu-ray or 4K here. And I disagree with that. I really do think that those Nancy Meyer movies should be getting the 4K Blu-ray treatment. I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't be. They're great. They have an audience. I enjoy them. I want it to look good too. I don't get why those have been just skipped over. Fallout is great. I love it. It's one of the best action movies to come out in the like the 2010s era. And you also have like a return to form for Mission Impossible, as in kind of brings everybody back onto its side. I feel like there was a certain point with like Rogue Nation where everybody was getting a little bit tired of it, and everybody was like, "Yeah, we get it. How many more Mission Impossible movies can this dude do?" But then Fallout comes out, and it's like, "Oh no, please keep making more of the Mission Impossible movies because Fallout was so good." You have the great Henry Cavill fight scene. You have the Halo jump scene. Um, yeah, just really good overall, I think. Okay, Children of Men. Children of Men should actually be way higher on this list. Children of Men is like a top 10 film made in the 2000s, in my opinion. Also, I have a different opinion of Children of Men than most, maybe, or a different interpretation of it, where that society, it's like, and that the metaphor of that movie is that the society that has a meaningless history. It's also like a society that doesn't try to make great art anymore. It's kind of like there's a no future aspect of it, and in the movie, it's literally that they have no future, where they have no children anymore. But I think the greater metaphor of it is that they have the no future aspect of it is that um, they don't contribute anything to history. Like there's nothing really. They don't do anything. It's kind of a society that has prioritized money and like social worth over art. So I would say, and also the cinematography, of course, is great. Everybody already knows that. All the performances are really good. Um, the script is really well done. The audio is really good too. Just put it all the way up here. The soundtrack choices, the needle drops, fantastic. A great needle drop movie. So Children of Men, I mean, I would put it all the way up here with top 10. Um, and it's also been underrated. Like, it's not our fault that Children of Men got like one Oscar nomination, even though it should have been like leading the pack. You know what I mean? Um, Melancholia, to me, is not even the best Lars von Trier movie. I think Dancer in the Dark should be here. I don't know if they did a thing where maybe they said it before and I just missed it, but they're not choosing films from the year 2000. Like maybe 2000 belongs to the 1900s for some reason, and that's fine. But Melancholia being up here above a lot of other things that I could think of, a lot of other movies. I mean, where's RRR? I mean, I think RRR is literally one of the best action spectacle movies made in recent history. Like I think about that movie all the time. I think it's fantastic. Um, I don't think that it's like a movie where you. Uh, I don't think it's like a fluff movie. It's actually really good. Um, Spirited Away is good, but I think Spirited Away, in my opinion, and this is the first one where it's like a lot of people are gonna think a lot of people are gonna think differently than me, but I think The Wind Rises is actually Miyazaki's masterpiece. A lot of people will give it to Spirited Away, but I think it's The Wind Rises, and The Wind Rises has certainly been overlooked. And if you really go back to that movie and think about him, Miyazaki, as a creator, The Wind Rises is like exactly what he wants to make. And did a perfect job of doing it. And I love the main character in that movie so much. But I think Spirited Away by itself, you can't just say like this. I mean, this was a huge splash. Like I remember this airing on Cartoon Network Toonami, back in the day. Like it was so big that it got broadcasted to American children on TV. And I'm not sure how many other Ghibli movies you can say have done that. Even other Miyazaki movies probably haven't done that. I mean, you give credit where it's due. It certainly is one of the like top 25. No problem at all. It's more of like an outside discussion of this, but The Wind Rises, in my opinion, is right up there with Spirited Away as the best. My favorite, however, is Porco Rosso. I think Porco Rosso is like the best thing they've ever done. I really like Porco Rosso. Before Sunset, I'm not mad at that. It's one of the great romance comedies, and it's one of the great movies about people in time. Um, it's a great movie. Top 25 of the last 25 years, I'm not sure. But that's one where it's kind of like, hey, come on, man. Before Sunset, you put it up there, and nobody's really mad at that. Anchorman, that is great. I do 100% back this. A lot of people might say, what about Step Brothers? My mom would say, what about Blades of Glory? Blades of Glory is her favorite, but I think Anchorman should be on here for sure. Um, I mean, it just kind of like was like the intro to all those Will Ferrell comedies of the 2000s and Will Ferrell R-rated comedies as well, not like Elf or something. Um, but honestly, in terms of like big comedies, you might say Superbad. Like I'm kind of surprised Superbad isn't on this list, and I was like 13 when that movie came out, and let me just say, for a 13-year-old, Superbad was like your Bible basically in terms of like what you thought was funny. Superbad was like the best movie ever made, for people born in the late 90s, I think. This is the big one where I think a lot of people uh, will disagree with me here, but I don't think Oppenheimer belongs on the top 25 for 25 at all. I don't think it should be the Christopher Nolan slot. Um, the big problem with Oppenheimer is that it just came out. I mean, some of these movies that came above it, Anchorman, Before Sunset, Spirited Away, we've had like 20 years to have it stand the test of time, and Oppenheimer has not stood the test of time at all. I mean, it just came out. People haven't had time to return to the movie after a certain amount of years and see if it's held up, see if it's still relevant at all. And a lot of people might say, "Oh yeah, so of course you're going to say Interstellar here, or you're going to say Inception here." But in my mind, The Prestige. I think The Prestige is Christopher Nolan's best movie. I don't think he's topped it since then. Um, like the dueling magicians reading each other's notebooks is such a hard plot device to actually make clear, and he does it. And then you have David Bowie as Tesla, which is just amazing. The Prestige is actually quite overlooked to being like the top tier of what people think. People think Interstellar and Inception is the best, but The Prestige, in my mind, is actually better than those. I mean, if I would put the Prestige in Oppenheimer's place, I would also move it way up here. Like I think The Prestige, I can watch it and never get tired of it, and I think it's really vastly overlooked. And I don't see why Oppenheimer is a really really new movie. It's kind of sharing the space with all these older movies. Um, so it's kind of hard. I mean, if you were to pick a recent movie that was super big, it's really really. I mean, I understand it's hard because all these other movies we think about how the time of them and like when they came out and what we thought of them when they came out, but we haven't had that test yet with Oppenheimer. This is the big one where everybody says, "Why haven't you put No Country for Old Men here?" With the Coen brothers choice, they chose Inside Llewyn Davis, which to me this is a crazy pick. It's not as crazy as Oppenheimer though. Like a lot of people think this is the big one, Inside Llewyn Davis. I mean, in my opinion, the biggest one is Marie Antoinette. Lost in Translation is, in every sense of the word, more important, more better. Um, it clears Marie Antoinette in every single way possible. Uh, we'll get there when we get there. But inside Llewyn Davis, it's kind of like it's a good pick for sure. Like it's a good movie. The performances are great. Oscar Isaac is great in it. Um, but let's be for real here. Like, should this be here instead of No Country for Old Men? Like, No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood, that year was so big. It's hard to overstate just how many people like went to go see No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood just over and over again. Um, and I mean, No Country for Old Men has one of the like top 5 villains of the past 25 years of all time in it. So it's like you have a movie that contains one of the top 5 characters of all time in recent memory in it. And instead, you have Inside Llewyn Davis that doesn't have uh, any part of those. Maybe you could say it has some of the best musical moments of the past 25 years. That's an interesting argument, but it doesn't hit the peak of the Anton Chigurh. Not even close. Now, everybody's going to say that Inside Llewyn Davis and the Oppenheimer picks are like nerd movie picks. But Moneyball here is such a ringer bubble movie where it's like if you don't care at all about the bubble that the ringer has with like the type of movies that go through, the hands of the people that work there and the talk and all that, this movie is of no relevance at all. I get that it's light, it's the Aaron Sorkin script and whatnot, but I never in my whole life have heard it. I've only heard one person ever talk about how good Moneyball was. It is a good movie for sure. And it's not even one of those movies where if you're a sports person, that's the only way you can enjoy this movie. I think if you are just, I mean, a normal person can see Moneyball and have a great time. It's 100% great. But if you know a lot more about the MLB and the inside, like the inside baseball being done there, Moneyball is like really, really great movie. But in my opinion, it's not as relevant as like Anchorman. Like, is Moneyball as relevant as Anchorman? Nobody talks about Moneyball. Like, I don't get this. I do not get the Moneyball resurgence at all. You have the Jonah Hill elevation performance where it's like, oh no, Jonah Hill can actually get on this level, and he can be like the Oscar contention race, no problem. I understand all of that, but as a whole, I don't care about baseball really. I don't care about the Aaron Sorkin part of it really. I'm an Aaron Sorkin fan, but like, it's fine. Like, it's not one of the best 25 movies of the 25 years. It's not as good as the movies that it's sandwiched between. It's not as good as Inside Llewyn Davis, and it's not as good as Get Out. So in my opinion, I mean, this would be way down. This shouldn't even be on the top 25 in my opinion. This is like maybe 50 to 100. Get Out is perfectly placed. Where is it here? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13th. Around 13th. That's perfectly fine. Get Out, a great movie. Big splash movie, was a big phenomenon when it came out. Maybe one of the most important movies of the last couple of years. It only gets better every single time you see it, and it has a good humor to it. All of a sudden, I remember watching Key and Peele, the TV show, when it was airing. Like, I remember the first episode, and to think that that guy made this was nuts for me to think about when I first saw it. But it kind of makes sense though, because the humor in it. It's just like one of those things where you just think like, oh, this type of movie was inside of this person this whole time. And he just had like the opportunity to rise to his own talent level. With Get Out, and it's great. 100% great. Royal Tenenbaums, perfect. I mean, Wes Anderson has been dominating this whole, like, 2 decades. He's just releasing like one movie every 2 years, one movie every 3 years. And The Royal Tenenbaums, I think, is his best for sure. I think a lot of his movies after The Royal Tenenbaums, a lot of them were kind of like The Royal Tenenbaums, but not as good. Like the way the characters interact with each other, the way the camera follows each character, the soundtrack drops. It's all trying to do kind of what the Royal Tenenbaums was doing, but it's not as good. Gene Hackman's performance in it is just great. Yeah, I mean, I love the Royal Tenenbaums. I think it's great. I love that it's up here. Now, The Wolf of Wall Street is interesting because that is their Scorsese pick. And I know that Sean Fantasy was like, what Scorsese movie is going to make it up here? And we have the two heavyweights. We have The Departed and The Wolf of Wall Street. Some other people might think Silence, something like that. It's just totally fine. Like Shutter Island, some people might enjoy that movie more. That's totally fine. But in my mind, the top two, if you were to go do a 25 for 25 list, the top two would be The Wolf of Wall Street or The Departed. I think what gives The Wolf of Wall Street a little bit of an edge here is that The Departed, if you think of The Departed as a pie, the slices belong to so many different other people than just like a Martin Scorsese, Leo, and like Jonah Hill. Compared to The Wolf of Wall Street. Like The Departed, you have every single character in that movie gets a slice of the pie of why that movie is great. You have the Matt Damon, you have Mark Wahlberg, you have the Alec Baldwin character, you have the whole Jack Nicholson, you have Jack Nicholson's friend in it. You have the original, The Infernal Affairs, that whole aspect of it. Like, there's so many different aspects of The Departed, which make The Departed great, and it's almost like you can just lean on all those other parts instead of just having it be like a Leo and a Scorsese-focused movie, which is The Wolf of Wall Street. But if The Departed was right here, I wouldn't be mad at that. I also will say that The Wolf of Wall Street created a whole new generation of cutthroat businessmen. This kind of came out like the year before I went to college, and let me just say that in high school, if you were a junior or senior dude, if you saw The Wolf of Wall Street, I knew so many people that wanted to go into business and economics after this movie. So take that as you will. Now, this is the most egregious, far-reaching pick of the entire thing, in my opinion. And of course, the only other answer here is Lost in Translation. Lost in Translation is so good that Family Guy had a cutaway of it where it showed Peter, Cleveland, Quagmire, and Joe coming out of the movie theater, and they were so emotionally touched by it.
I've had more fun with you than I did going to see Lost in Translation with Cleveland and Quagmire.
What do you think he whispered to her?
I bet it was just right.
So the point there is that a show which was known for taking celebrities in movies and kind of shitting on them didn't even do that to Lost in Translation, because Lost in Translation was so good that it demanded like their respect. And it wasn't just a movie that you saw and you respected. It was like heartwarming as well. This is also this movie Marie-Antoinette choice over Lost in Translation is also early 2000s nostalgia erasure, which is something that I think does happen and is happening. For some reason, nobody wants to be involved with the nostalgia of the early 2000s. And I think that is a great time to be nostalgic about. Because I went through it as a kid, so it's like rose-colored glasses and what all. I totally see that there. But this is the only pick here that I think is legitimately morally wrong. Like, Sean and Amanda should go to the Senate and argue about why Marie Antoinette is better than Lost in Translation here. And if Lost in Translation was in this list, it'd be right up here too. Lost in Translation is right up here for me. It's kind of near In the Mood for Love for me. So then after that, so this is our final top 10 here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 10 was Marie Antoinette. So Lost in Translation being the top of the 10 is fine. So this is Mad Max Fury Road. Great, put it up there. It's one of like the top action movies of the past like 15, 20 years for sure. Put it up there, that's fine. But I'm not sure if Mad Max Fury Road is better of an action movie than like The Raid 2. Like Mad Max Fury Road might be more of like that Ringer bubble where it's like not enough people at the Ringer even know what The Raid 2 is. So why would they even include it here? But I really do think The Raid 2 should be talked about here. It's one of the best action movies in the 2000s era for sure, in the 2010s era. Also, I'm going to shout out RRR here again because the action spectacle in RRR is really good as well. But Mad Max Fury Road, put it up here. It's like, yeah, everybody agrees with that. Everybody loves it. I didn't love it. Fun fact, I did not love this movie the first time I saw it in a theater. I thought it was really boring because something about cars exploding I just don't really care about for some reason. But I've watched it like a lot since then, trying to hate watch it. And after I've watched it a couple times, I'm just like, yeah, I was totally wrong. Mad Max Fury Road is great. 100%. And it totally deserves to be top 25 for 25. But for some reason, it's sharing the ballpark with Marie Antoinette, and it's sharing the ballpark with Michael Clayton in Melancholia. Okay. Parasite. Now we need to have a discussion here, because I really like Parasite, and I really like South Korean movies. But I think that Memories of Murder should be on here over Parasite, because for the Bong Joon-ho choice, I mean, without Memories of Murder, you don't get Zodiac. And if you watch Memories of Murder and then watch Zodiac right after each other, like Memories of Murder is 100 times better. Because there's a whole part in Zodiac where they don't know who the Zodiac killer is, and nothing is really happening because the Zodiac killer's not doing anything, and it's just kind of like wasted minutes a little bit. But Memories of Murder does not stop for a single second. It's just great. And it's really overlooked, I think, because of how big of a phenomenon Parasite was. I mean, Parasite was a really big movie when it came out. But I don't think that means that it's better than Memories of Murder. I would even say Burning could be up here too. Burning was a really good South Korean movie as well that maybe could be an honorable mention, could be sniffing this. But I understand why Burning, when you want to put Burning on here for sure. I get that. Next we have In the Mood for Love. Yes. More and more yes. Mulholland Drive. Yes. I mean, these two back to back are just perfect. These belong up here. These deserve to be up here. Some of the biggest movies of the early 2000s, biggest, most influential movie of the early 2000s. You have David Lynch coming back and just smacking everybody with his dream of a right hook. It's great. I really love these picks up here. These picks should be up here for sure. I do not get why Lady Bird is up here. Like, we don't have another rom-com, or we don't have another female coming-of-age story that is as good. And even, I mean, I love Lady Bird. I think Lady Bird is Greta's best movie, for sure. Like, nothing has even come close to how good Lady Bird was, in my opinion. But if you're going to put Lady Bird on this 25 for 25, I'm not mad at it. I am more just, it shouldn't be all the way up here next to Mulholland Drive. Like, are we really entertaining that Mulholland Drive in the batting order? Mulholland Drive is right next to Lady Bird? Like, that's just ridiculous. Lady Bird should be like all the way down here. or yeah, all the way down here next to Michael Clayton, and something's got to give. If you're making a top 25, like Lady Bird shouldn't be sniffing the number one seed, like the number one spot. That's just silly. And I love Lady Bird. It's a great movie. I love the direction in it. I love the acting in it. I actually wanted this to win the Best Picture when it came out. I was on Lady Bird's side, campaigning for it. I really like that movie, but it shouldn't be up here sniffing this. Inglourious Bastards. This might be one where everybody is going to hate me for this as well. I love Inglourious Bastards. It might be a masterpiece from Tarantino for sure. I like Kill Bill more than it. And I think Kill Bill is as every much of a masterpiece as Inglourious Bastards. It's a masterpiece for a lot of different reasons though. And we just had Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair come to theaters and kind of remind everybody of that. And everybody was reminded about how good Kill Bill actually is. But I've been on the Kill Bill hype train for so long. I mean, honestly, look, if I'm making the list, I'm putting Kill Bill up here over Bastards every day of the week. And that is a me thing. I mean, if I'm putting Kill Bill or Bastards up here, they are also not this high. They're probably around here in like the 10 to 15 range. So in my mind, I would pick Kill Bill, and I would put Kill Bill around the 10 to 15 range, even though Kill Bill is like my favorite movie of all time. I really, really, really love Kill Bill. I'm talking about Kill Bill even though Bastards is here. But, I mean, can you blame me? I mean, Bastards, you have the Hans Landa character. And I think that's like the whole argument for this movie. The whole argument is, well, no other character in any Tarantino movie has been as good as Hans Landa, in Christoph Waltz's performance as Hans Landa. And you might just be right about that. I'm not sure if there's anything else you can put into contention there. Like, yeah, you're just right. He's their best character. But overall, I think, like, all the other performances are really good, too, in Bastards, and all the different cutting and cinematography and whatnot. But I really wish, I mean, if I had a time machine, I really wish that Adam Sandler could have been the Bear Jew. I wish he could have been the Bear Jew instead of Eli Roth. So everybody's getting upset about Spike Lee. I mean, everybody. Like, not that many people at all. Like, 100 people are getting upset about Spike Lee being up here with 25th Hour. And I'm not. I think 25th Hour should definitely be up here. 25th Hour, Spike Lee, just great, great, great. Although I might wager Get on the Bus. Like, Get on the Bus by Spike Lee is completely underrated. And I like it more than 25th Hour. I mean, Spike Lee's one of the, like, top American directors of all time. I think he could be up here for sure. Like, I'm not mad at it. Like, I honestly think, though, that In the Mood for Love or Mulholland Drive, like, those movies should be above 25th Hour, no question. Like, it's not even a competition. You wouldn't ever put 25th Hour of all Spike Lee movies above Mulholland Drive and In the Mood for Love, but they did. So, there it is. And then the top two here, we got 2, There Will Be Blood, and then we have The Social Network. I'm completely fine with these picks. There Will Be Blood for sure is one of the top movies of the 25th century. I know that a lot of people think that this is like the definitive, this is kind of like a weird movie about the type of men that made America what it is today. But I think it's really just a great character-driven movie from Daniel Day-Lewis as Daniel Plainview. I mean, Daniel Plainview, you can't even, like, talk about how big of a character that is. It's just fantastic. And every single time you watch There Will Be Blood, you are reminded that it's one of the greatest American epics of all time. 100%. This could be one. Like, There Will Be Blood could be one. Here's the thing about The Social Network. I understand. I understand how big of a phenomenon Facebook was when it was coming out as well. Like, it's really interesting to look back and think about how big Facebook was, and then how they dropped this movie right around it, where it was like, oh, this new website that I'm just using and all my friends are using, This is the story of how it was made, and this is like the story of the people who made it, with certain creative liberties. Another Aaron Sorkin project here. This in Moneyball, and I'm not like upset at this choice at all. I get it. I get why it's won. Great soundtrack by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. However, my favorite David Fincher movie of the 2000s era is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And I feel like I'm the only person that will plant that flag and defend it. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo with Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara is just fantastic. Rooney Mara gives a great, I mean, in my opinion, she gives an Oscar-worthy performance as Lisbeth Salander in that movie. And that movie is literally one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's my favorite Fincher of all time. And that movie gets overlooked 100%. But so if I was to pick the Fincher choice for The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, it's kind of like a vibe check where it's like, yeah, I like The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's my favorite movie of all time. But if they're trying to make like an official staple it to the bulletin board, this is the list. This is a list that people like should turn to. We feel super strong about this list. We're trying to almost do somewhat of a collective thing. This isn't just movies that Sean and Amanda both like that happen to be 25 or 25. They're actually trying to go for Bear here and say, no, this is the 25 or 25. It's The Social Network for the Fincher for sure. But I like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I mean, sue me, okay? So you have like a weird thing where like 4 or 5 of these movies just shouldn't be in here at all, and I don't even get why they're here. And then you have another 4 or 5 movies where it almost feels like, to me, is like the wrong choice for the director that they chose. Maybe to me some of them aren't wrong. It's just I like those other ones more. And I could make a big long case about all those other movies, like Memories of Murder over Parasite, but that's neither here nor there.